It is 9 o'clock. We are the 5th of January. Baby boy is here. Rocco is his name. He's 5 days old. I wanted to film a little bit, but I didn't want to be consumed by filming, so I haven't picked up the camera, obviously the first 5 days, but I also wanted to remember these days as well, and I feel like postpartum with Max, sometimes when I look back it feels a bit like a blur, so I wanted to film a little bit, I suppose, for myself and just to let you guys know that we're doing okay, but I didn't want to be like really consumed by it at all. So yeah, it's just, I always say this, always trying to find a balance between just enjoying and living in the moment and obviously showing you guys stuff and filming content as well. So yeah, I thought I'd just run you through the days, like the last 5 days, and how things have been and how I'm feeling. And yeah, so obviously we came home that night. My sister was looking after Max. Max was not really interested in Rocco at all. He just, I think he was happy to see us and he was tired because it was quite late by the time we got back and sorted everything out. And then we came up to bed and we didn't even bother putting Max in his own bed. We put him in with us because he had obviously been without us for however long, and we had missed him and he had missed us, and we was like, right, he can just come in bed with us. And he broke my heart because he got really upset because obviously I'm feeding Rocco and he's asking for milk, and obviously I've not figured out how to tandem feed at this point and what positions to get in, and Max only really feeds laying down to go to sleep. So yeah, there was that. He got so upset when he saw me feeding Rocco, and obviously I had to tell him to wait, because obviously the midwives have said like you need to prioritise feeding the baby first, because obviously that's his only source of, you know, any fluids, food, you know, whatever. So absolutely broke my heart, and I was already hormonal as it was. But then yeah, Rocco had finished and Max went on the boob. He went to sleep within literally 5 minutes, bless him, and he slept through for I think the whole night, if I remember correctly. I mean, it is starting to already feel like a blur. And Rocco slept in the next to me crib. I don't think the first night was horrendous. I don't know if Max woke up. I really can't remember now, which is really bad. I want to say that he did maybe wake up at like 4 o'clock potentially. Like I said, guys, it's all becoming a blur. But this is why I wanted to film this, because I want to remember the bits that are still sort of fresh in my mind. So, and then obviously my family wanted to come and visit on the 1st, literally the day after. And we actually said no. So with Max, my mum and dad came literally the day after, and my sisters came, and then like the day after we had more family, and we literally had family like back-to-back days. This time around we really wanted to make sure that we were focused on Max and like the adjustment period for him, and it's just such a big change for him and big transition, and we didn't want him to be really overwhelmed with so many visitors and like him sort of be questioning like what on earth is going on, as well as dealing with a new baby. And yeah, so we said no to visitors the day after. We wanted to give Max a chance to bond with Rocco, and for us to have a chance to bond with Rocco, you know, all of us as a family, and just have some family time, and obviously get to spend some time with Max as well, when we had been, like, he had been without us for a little while. So the first day was kind of just I suppose just surviving and just spending time together as a family of 4, and just trying to navigate everything. It was all really new for us, and for Max as well, obviously. That night, from what I can remember, Rocco was cluster feeding. My milk hadn't come in yet. So yeah, he was up quite a lot, just on and off the boob. It was quite hard to settle him like back down in the next to me crib and everything. And obviously I'm not really comfortable like co-sleeping or bed sharing or anything like that with him. He's just so small at this age. With Max we waited quite a bit longer. I think he was probably about 8 weeks old, so yeah, it's just not an option for us right this second. Plus Max gets in our bed like in the middle of the night still and stuff like that, so it's just not safe in my opinion. So yeah, that night was quite hard. And then the next morning Harry actually had a job interview because he's looking at changing jobs and stuff. So he actually left the house at 7:45 in the morning, And I had already been awake feeding Rocco, and Max was still in his bed. And literally everything happened all at once. Max woke up, Rocco started crying, Max wanted to be held. Obviously, I'm still sore. And yeah, my body feels what it felt on that day. It felt really weak. I'm tired, you know. So yeah, he wanted to be held and carried down the stairs. I've got him in one arm, Rocco in the other. Then I realised I had to actually open the baby gate. And I also needed to bring the nappy caddy down because the nappy caddy that we've got downstairs only has Max's stuff in it. It doesn't have anything for Rocco. And I've still not done it, and we are now day 5. So even just the logistics of that, of like trying to get both children downstairs, and like getting everything ready and things like that, that was yeah, I was a bit flustered to say the least. But anyways, we went downstairs, I made breakfast for Max, didn't get a chance to make anything for myself. Max was really, really irritable that morning. And obviously as well, like I'm trying to be conscious of like making sure that he's got the attention from me and that, you know, I'm doing the normal things that we would normally do, like making his breakfast or, you know, sitting with him at the table and things like that. All while still making sure that I'm taking care of Rocco and feeding him and, you know, whatever. So yeah, it's a completely different ball game, like going from 1 to 2. So yeah, we made breakfast and then my mum and dad turned up because they arranged to come as early as they could, just because Harry was obviously at the interview and obviously they wanted to meet baby Rocco as well. So my mum and dad came probably about 40 minutes after that, maybe half an hour, and they brought balloons and they brought a hamper. I'll show you the hamper tomorrow, but yeah, balloons, hamper. They bought gifts from like my sisters, from them. My mum actually went to Lidl in the morning to get me more water wipes for Rocco. She brought a load of nappies for us, so really, really nice. And I just burst into tears when I saw my mum because it was just like, yeah, it's really hard to explain, but like when you've gone through something like that, like afterwards, like I really wanted to see my mum and just like have a cuddle and stuff. So yeah, my dad was playing with Max and me and my mum were just crying and she was like, he's so perfect. Which he is. He's so perfect. He looks so much like Max did as a newborn, but he looks so different at the same time. It's such a strange thing to see. It's really hard to explain as well, but yeah, he looks so much like Max did when Max was a newborn, but also just so different. Like some of their features are so different at the same time. So I wonder how he'll look as he starts growing. Because Max looks so different now compared to like his newborn stages. So and then my dad wanted a cuddle and I was like, can I have a cuddle first? And then my dad came and cuddled me and I just burst into tears as well. I don't know if it's just like one of those things, but like I just wanted to be held by my mum and dad afterwards. So it was really nice seeing them and them saying like how proud they are of me and stuff. And obviously the only person I had seen besides them since I'd given birth was obviously Harry, and he's been absolutely incredible. I'm so lucky to have him and I'm so glad I married him. Rocco woke for a feed and he's just gone back down. Harry's gone in Max's bed with Max. Max is already sleeping, but we've been trying to like tag team, so I'm trying to be quiet. But yeah, as I was saying, like the only other person I'd seen was obviously Harry. So grateful to have him. He is incredible. Like he's just an amazing dad, and he has been an amazing husband to me, making sure that I'm all okay and healing and resting and whatnot. So but the only other person I'd seen was obviously my other sister, and she held me as well. She like gave me a big cuddle and was like, I'm so proud of you. So yeah, my sister Rosh, but I haven't actually seen my other sisters yet. So Becca is got a chest infection and Rosie's been working, so I haven't got to see them yet, but I should be seeing them this week, so that's really exciting. Did a food shop and he came back from his interview, so yeah, it was really nice. My mum and dad actually bought me a cake. I had a cake box cake for my birthday. It's like my favourite cake and I've been craving one, and after I gave birth I must have said to my mum, I really want a cake box cake. My mum and dad actually went out and got one. I'll see if I can insert a photo so that you guys can see, because we've basically demolished the cake by now. It's like one slice left. So that was really nice as well. But yeah, then that night I had a really, really hard night with Rocco. My milk came in that night. Oh, you snoring? Are you waking? That night I had a really bad night with Rocco. Max was like really upset, so that was the first night that Harry tried going in with him. And like staying in with him because Max kept waking in the middle of the night, coming in our bed, then he wanted the boob, and then he wasn't going back to sleep, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then Rocco would wake, and then they'd both be setting each other off, so we was like, right, let's try and divide and conquer, and we did not do any conquering that night, I'll tell you that. Harry went in with Max, he woke because I went to wake Harry because I needed a wee, and Rocco had just been up and just crying. So I ended up waking Max up when I went to get Harry, and then Harry took ages trying to get Max back to sleep, and honestly Rocco just would not stop crying. He wanted the boob, but it was just, yeah, his latch is not, we're still working on it. My midwife actually, when she came and saw Rocco the day after I gave birth, she was like, he actually has a tongue tie. She noticed he had a tongue tie, and I actually noticed that his tongue looked a bit of a weird shape when he was trying to like stick it out. So yeah, he's been referred for like tongue tie specialist, to see a tongue tie specialist. So his latch, we're still working on it, and he was like fussing at the boob and not latching, and then crying. And no matter what I did, like I tried rocking him, I tried white noise, changing his nappy, like restarting again, like, you know, like resettling, and literally nothing. And I think I must have had maybe an hour sleep that night, maybe 2 at the most. And I think Harry came in at 2 o'clock in the morning because he heard him crying, and he was like, what's wrong, what's going on? I was like, he just won't settle. And Harry actually ended up getting up with Rocco, going down, and yeah, he basically just kept bringing Rocco up every kind of like 30 minutes because obviously Rocco was cluster feeding and I hadn't pumped at this point. My milk was in, but yeah, the cluster feeding it's a bit relentless. It's almost like you forget how hard it is when you go for it a second time. You're like, oh yeah, I've done it before. Then when you're doing it, you're like, oh my gosh, how did I do this the first time? But yeah, he was cluster feeding, so Max came in bed with me, and then Harry went down with Rocco, and literally just every time that he was like rooting around for the boob, Harry would bring him back up. He's like, wake me up, put him on the boob, and then Harry would take him back down. So yeah, loads of broken sleep for both of us that night. And in the morning, I think it was probably about 6 o'clock, I text my mum and I was like, please will you and Dad come so that come round so that me and Harry can get like a couple of hours sleep. So she was like, yeah, it's fine. So she came with my dad, and they took Max out for lunch so that me and Harry could try and get some rest. Obviously they couldn't take Rocco because Rocco's on the boob and cluster feeding and whatnot. So and to be honest, I wouldn't have wanted to be apart from a newborn like that early days anyway. But yeah, Max, I think he was quite happy to get out of the house, bless him, and like just go and do something. So yeah, they went for lunch, and then I had a health visitor call me. Well, actually, before that, I had a midwife call just to check in with us, and she mentioned about jaundice, and I was like, I don't think that he is, but yeah, like I don't know. I hadn't really noticed anything too drastic. I felt like maybe his skin tone was a little bit yellow. But Harry was like, no, I don't think it is. So the midwife wasn't too concerned. And then in the afternoon, Harry was like, oh, his eyes look, like the whites of his eyes look a little bit sort of yellow tinged. And I had actually pointed out again, and I was like, actually, I feel like his skin does look a little bit yellow. So the health visitor called just for the normal appointment, and she was like, oh, why don't you just contact the community midwife? So I was like, yeah, I will. And then I called my midwife, and then they were like, bring him in and we'll have a quick check. So my mum and dad were back at this point. I think Harry was still in bed. I literally got about half an hour sleep because, again, Rocco was cluster feeding, so it was really hard to try and get any sort of nap time while my mum and dad had Max. But yeah, they had come back, and I said to my mum, like, can Dad take me to the appointment? Then that way Harry gets to sleep for a bit longer. So she was like, yes, fine. So my dad took me to the appointment, and they were like, yeah, he does look jaundice. but not like, it's not like the worst they'd seen. They said it was like quite mild, but they did the test. There's like a little machine that they put on like the skin of the chest, and his reading was 234. So they were like, we want you to go to A&E and get him checked because they can do the blood tests and they're more accurate. So I was like, great. Now I've got to go back up the hospital and I've still had hardly no sleep since last night. And my mum and dad said that they could take me so that Harry could stay with Max, so that Max wasn't too unsettled as well with like his routine. So I was like, that's fine. So my mum and dad took me to A&E, and Rocco had bloods. We were up there a few hours. I want to say we was up there maybe 4 hours. It might have been a little bit longer, I don't actually know. But we luckily we got put into a separate room just because Rocco was only 3 days old, I think, at this point. Which is really good, because as soon as I got into the waiting room of A&E, I was like so anxious, because I was like, oh no, like all these kids are coughing and spluttering and God knows like what illnesses all of these children have, and he's literally like 3 days old. Like, I don't want him to catch anything. But luckily they put us in a separate room. He had his bloods done and the bloods came back, so the jaundice level was actually 216, and the doctor wasn't concerned. She said it's not as high to need any sort of treatment. So I was like, okay, fine. And she just said to keep feeding him every 2 to 3 hours, even if it means waking him up, just so that he gets the feeds in him, because that will help clear the jaundice quicker. So yeah, I went back home. Mum and Dad took me back home, and then Harry stayed up with Rocco that night, and I had actually pumped quite a bit throughout the day and whatnot, and literally I pumped when I got back home as well. And I literally had like, I don't know, 4 ounces in literally like 5 minutes. So yeah, the milk has come in pretty strong. But yeah, Harry literally stayed up with him and just gave him a bottle basically every 2 to 3 hours. And Harry did actually put him in a new swaddle. He's got these new swaddles from my sister. They're Tommy Tippy ones, and we had never had those with Max, but they've been absolutely brilliant. And Harry actually managed to get a few hours sleep downstairs. We've got another crib downstairs, so and I slept with Max, and I slept from, I want to say, midnight until maybe 5 or 6 o'clock. The only problem with that is obviously where I've been cluster feeding. I hadn't fed Rocco for a long time, obviously 4 or 5 hours or whatever it was. So when I woke up, my boobs were extremely hard and sore, very, very engorged. But luckily, I have Maximus, who is still very much interested in having milk. Whether it's for comfort, I think it is more just comfort, to be honest. I don't think he really cares about the taste of the milk or anything like that. But yeah, he woke up at the same time as me and he asked for milk. So I literally put him on the worst sort of engorged boob, and he literally drained the whole thing. So that helped me out massively, and then I fed Rocco on the other side, and then whatever he didn't take out, I pumped the rest basically. I really don't want to end up with mastitis again, because that was horrendous. I've had it a couple of times. So yesterday was Saturday, so originally my sister Rosh was going to come with her partner and my nephew Kyson, but we actually decided to, like, I said to her, please can we do another day, because I think I was so tired still trying to catch up with everything, and obviously, yeah, the cluster feeding and everything. And she was like, no, it's absolutely fine. So we've rearranged, but yeah, yesterday we just kind of like tried to get the house in order and do a few bits around the house and spend time with Max, and nothing too crazy. But again, we like split up in the night. Harry went with Max for the first bit, I stayed with Rocco. And then me and Harry actually swapped, because again, I've still got loads of pumped milk in the fridge. Like each day I'm getting obviously more like a new stash basically, where I'm like, I've got a bit of an oversupply, I suppose. So yeah, like I said, the only issue is obviously leaving it for so long. It just gets so engorged, so that's a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, we kind of did the same thing last night, but Rocco was quite unsettled, Harry said, for between, like, I think Harry came in at 1 o'clock and I went in with Max, and yeah, he was quite unsettled until the morning. But yeah, and then today is Sunday, so it's baby boy's due date today, so yeah, it's crazy. 5 days old already. but we had midwife this morning, so I got up with both the boys this morning. It's quite nice as well, like when Harry does like the morning, I say the morning, but like if he does like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock onwards, Max normally wakes at about 6, so I get up with Max at 6. It's been quite nice because the last couple of days or whatever that we've been doing it, it means that I actually get to make Max breakfast and spend a bit of one-on-one time with him first thing in the morning. Rocco's normally still sleeping with Harry. Harry will normally be in bed and Rocco will be in the next to me, and he normally stays sleeping for another hour until I go and get him, like, to feed him. So it means that me and Max have actually got some nice sort of quality time in the morning together. But yeah, I ended up getting Rocco up at 7, so me and Max had about an hour together. We had breakfast. And honestly, Rocco had been on the boob from probably 7 until like literally 8:30. Just on and off the boob the whole time, or both boobs, should I say. And then at 8:30, I woke Harry and I said, we've got to get ready because I've got midwife. So he got up and he helped me get the boys ready and whatnot. And it honestly took us an hour to get actually ready and out of the house, into the car, and actually driving. But yeah, I had my midwife appointment. That all went really well. He's only lost about 4% of his birth weight, which is amazing. With Max, he lost about 8, nearly 9%. But yeah, with Rocco, he's not really lost too much. And I don't know if that's just because I feel more experienced this time around with like breastfeeding and like knowing when he's got a good latch or a bad latch and things like that. And I had expected that he was going to lose more just because of the tongue ties. So really, really pleased with that. She checked his umbilical cord as well because it looked really, makes me feel. But she said it's fine and it's actually fallen off this evening. So yeah, that was that. And yeah, she did like my blood pressure because obviously I've had like some blood pressure issues, obviously like towards the end of pregnancy, but she did my blood pressure, it was absolutely fine. My temperature, my pulse, all of that. She said all of that was all good. And she also did his heel prick test as well. So that's been sent off too. And then the only thing that I asked her was if she could just check my stitches. They're quite tender still, so she checked them and she said that they're absolutely fine, like nothing needs doing for them, they're healing perfectly. So that's all really good as well. I'm really positive. The only thing that I would say that I've noticed in the last couple of days is just like the lower abdomen pain. So like my lower tummy, sort of like where my uterus would be, it's like really tender and like it does feel like I've done a workout. And she was like, well, you kind of have done a workout, you've just pushed a baby out. But it kind of feels like when you've done like a tummy workout specifically for like abs, and like when I lift my legs and stuff or I'm walking around, it feels, my lower tummy feels tender. So she wanted me to call triage just to get advice from them and see if they wanted to see me. And I'd lost a couple of clots, nothing too like big or anything, but yeah, she wanted me just to call triage and check with them if they wanted to see me, just in case. But she felt my tummy and she said my uterus has contracted back down. She said it's probably only about 4 centimetres now, which I find absolutely insane. Like 5 days ago, my uterus was huge and I had a placenta in there and everything, as well as a bloody baby. And 5 days later, it's down to 4 centimetres. So, but obviously, I'm breastfeeding. She said the breastfeeding will help contract the uterus back down, and I'm breastfeeding too. So, the after pains have been bloody horrendous, like really, really, really intense. Nowhere near as bad with Max. I remember with Max thinking, oh gosh, this is uncomfortable, like, this is quite painful. No, this time around, complete different ball game. Extremely painful. Literally felt at the beginning like I was having contractions still after birth. And when I'm breastfeeding, it hurts. Like you can feel the cramps. So yeah, she just wanted me to call triage and just check. I called triage and they were absolutely fine. They said, like, you know, your uterus has accommodated a baby and a placenta and it's contracting back down. It's like very, very normal to feel so tender. I think I just didn't expect it because I didn't really feel any sort of like tummy tenderness. Not well, not as bad anyway, from what I can remember anyway. But yeah, not as bad with Max. whereas this time around it's felt really, really intense. But she said it's really normal. She said the more children you have, the more the uterus has to like work harder, basically. So yeah, I mean, if we have more children, RIP to the to my uterus and the cramping and that just, yeah, it's been really, really painful. So but yeah, they were happy. They just said as long as the bleeding is, you know, not really, really heavy or gets a lot worse, then it's absolutely fine. I don't need to go in. And to be fair, my bleeding is like really, really light now compared to what it was. And she said that could also be because I'm contracting back down so quickly because I'm breastfeeding. So all really positive. So yeah, it's the evening now. I think it must be about 10 o'clock. Harry's literally just gone in with Max. Max has been asleep for a couple of hours. Rocco is sleeping. He's had a feed maybe about an hour and a half ago. So yeah, I don't know what sort of night we're going to have. I think it's also really good to note as well, like the day that my mum and dad came, that I asked him and I was like, please can you come so that we can like get some sleep. I could not stop crying that day. I think it was a mix of things. Obviously my milk had come in and I was hormonal and sore, you know, overwhelmed and tired and whatever, but the main thing was that I was having so much mum guilt for Max. I could see that he wanted to play and it's really hard for me to get on the floor at the moment with the stitches and things like that, and he wanted to play, and then like his behaviour was just a bit all over the place, where obviously my attention, I'm trying to like learn to divide my attention between feeding Rocco and making sure that he's okay as well as Max. So I felt like all I was doing was like telling him off, and Harry felt the same. Like we literally felt like all we was doing was telling him no, don't do this, or telling him off. And obviously he was doing it more because obviously it meant he was getting attention from us. So I could not stop crying that day, and I felt so much guilt for Max. And my mum was like it's fine, like, you know, you're gonna figure it out and whatnot. But it was really, really hard mentally that day for me. But I think the good thing to note as well is that like this time around postpartum, like, mentally I actually feel a lot better. I definitely feel like with Max I found postpartum extremely hard. I feel like I had postnatal depression and postnatal anxiety, and obviously it's still early days, anything can change. I have the mental health referral there if I need it, so I know that that's there, and I've been very proactive about it all, as I've said to you guys before. But yeah, it feels quite nice, quite light and quite positive for me to feel how I'm feeling, like feel as good as I'm feeling, should I say, mentally, this early on. So that's really nice and positive for me. There he is, having a little snooze. And this is like the carnage that comes with having a newborn. Oh dear. Yeah, these are the swaddles that I'm talking about that my sister got. Really, really good. But yeah, that's kind of been like the first few days postpartum, the first few days of Rocco's life. I feel like Max is starting to adjust a lot better. And like he'll give like Rocco kisses and cuddles, and if he doesn't want to, he'll say no, or he'll just ignore us, which is absolutely fine. We've not tried to like push it on him too much, just kind of like do it at his own pace, and if he's interested, he's interested, if he's not, he's not. It's absolutely fine. But yeah, I mean, his behaviour has changed, obviously, a lot has changed for him, so it was bound to, but yeah, we're just navigating each day as a family. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I mean, it's a bit of a weird one, just me talking in bed, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video and checking in with us, and all of the lovely comments that we've had, like wishing us well and stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and we will see you for the next one. your baby.